Well, good morning. My name is James Richardson. I'm here with Ricky Godoy. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing great.
Good. Glad to hear it. I would love to hear some of your thoughts on the work that you're doing with Reentry and how CAP is able to impact that. Maybe some of the challenges, the barriers, some of the solutions that you've come across most recently.
So I would say I work for an organization called CROP, Creating Restorative Opportunities and Programs. I am the new reentry coordinator, and I've been participating with the CAP Alliance for about 2.5 years now. And something that has really benefited and helped me in my role is networking with different organizations that offer different resources. So that way, our fellows who are formerly incarcerated coming home, that if we don't have those resources here in Los Angeles, we can reach out to these different organizations that can supplement those resources. Some of the challenges I see is that sometimes the programs conflict with hours or program scheduling, so sometimes that's like one of the things that makes it a little difficult to network.
Excellent. I know that in previous conversations you had mentioned a resource that was available for the reentry population that may not be completely being taken advantage of. And speaking specifically of the Governor's Rehabilitation Certificate. And I know that a lot of the population that we serve who are on parole or probation are already partaking in those classes and checking those boxes as a matter of the conditions of their probation or parole. For instance, anger management classes, parenting classes, maybe substance abuse, inpatient or outpatient treatment. And these are all on the list of things that, once accomplished, would make a participant eligible for the Certificate of Rehabilitation. The efficacy of that entire program is that now they're more employable. So when the employer asks the inevitable question, do you have a felony conviction or do you have a criminal history, they'll be able to offer this up as well. I do, but here is this. This is a certificate of rehabilitation, and I believe that that forgives a lot of sins with employees, especially if they're second chance employers already, and they can see that, oh, okay, this I'm taking less of a chance. There's other programs out there where there's tax incentives that are given to employers, but I think that this certificate of rehabilitation, it's a way, it's a metric that we can actually qualitate the data and to be able to capture that, and it's going to help on a lot of different levels, not only the participant but also the agencies helping that participant, especially when they're going for things like funding.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that the certificate of rehabilitation, when we work with individuals coming home, I myself am formerly incarcerated, and knowing that getting off parole is a goal. You know, they have these parole conditions, and you have the classes you need to take in order to show the Board of Prison Hearings that, hey, I did what I said I was going to do. I'm showing you that I'm a productive citizen. I'm making it out on my own. But the long-term goal is that employment, that long-term employment. And working with second chance employers, it's great. It's awesome to have that. Today we have Chase Bank here talking about all the different partners that are second chance hiring. And I think that many of us don't either know about or don't realize that the long-term goal is the expungement to get that record off, and a step towards that is a certificate of rehabilitation. And I think that life just gets so busy that, hey, I completed my programs, I'm off parole, but then what happens is, you know, hey, whether it's housing and they're asking, do you have a felony conviction, etc., and then it pops up, oh wow, I do. Are they gonna, if I mark that, are they gonna give me the housing? If I go for this new job that might not be second chance hires company, how is that gonna look? Then those conversations start coming up again of, wow, you know, I discharged parole, I've been out now 3-4 years. What now? The conversation of the, oh wow, I haven't really finished or completed that process out, and this is an opportunity to bring that conversation to the forefront of, yes, I'm completing my courses, yes, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, and I want to make sure that I not only get the certificate of the rehabilitation, but also that's like the utilizing that to move forward, so I can not only discharge parole but also work towards expungement, so that way I can be free of any attachments to my former incarceration.
It's awesome that you've mentioned the CAP and the Second Chance program that Chase is heading up, and the CAP Alliance here at the CAP Summit. And it's been
beautiful.
really fantastic to enjoy this space and share it with you, and to have these conversations. And it's really at the heart of what the CAP Alliance is meant to be. You know, we have a chance to share ideas, share resources, share solutions, because the population that we work with, there's plenty of overlap there. And part of that overlap, I'm glad that you mentioned expungements. And I know that most recently SB, Senate Bill 731, was just approved and put into action, stemming out of San Joaquin County, by the way, and largely due in part to the collaboration with the Public Defender's Office there, and some legislators who were able to author that bill and then lobby it and get it passed through. And what it specifically allows for is, after 4 years, an automatic expungement for qualifying offenses. And the efficacy of that entire process is to make the individual more employable.
Yes.
So now they don't have a list of charges. They're expunged. They're off the record. They don't have to speak about them. And like I said, it's for qualifying charges, so it'll apply to some, not for this, but it's automatic. So in the past, the problem was with an expungement clinic was that it was labor intensive.
Yes.
It was expensive, it took time, it was labor intensive, and now with this automatic process, there's less manpower, there's less man hours on it, and we're allowing technology and computers to be able to do what they're doing. When your time comes up, you've got these charges, are they eligible? Yes, and they automatically apply it. Now, these things in conjunction with each other provide an opportunity for the participant to become more employable, and that's a step in, as a returning citizen, rejoining the society. And I think that as agencies, how can we implore and take these resources that we have and put them into action? What action steps can we take? How can we offer this to them specifically? And how would CROP specifically offer that to the participants that are working with?
Well, first I want to highlight that CROP is a career development program. So our main purpose is to help individuals get not only the training, but livable wage careers. We say livable wage. We have a number about 60,000 or more, and that's where we want individuals to be. And when you start stepping into spaces that pay that much, the conversation of we have a counseling career track that we do, as well as a SaaS sales, software as a service. And in the tech space, it's kind of like breaking down the door of like, hey, we're formerly incarcerated, we want to join this space. And what we're realizing is we're competing with people who have degrees, trainings, and are not formerly incarcerated. And so that conversation comes up about what we're talking about now is getting the certificate of rehabilitation, having that conversation early on when they first come home, to know that yes, you have your parole conditions and you have the different groups that are necessary to complete, but you also can start on this process with the certificate of rehabilitation and work your way to expungement. So even if we're fortunate enough to work with second chance hiring companies, that's amazing, that's great. The idea is that we continue to grow from that, so down the line, 3-4 years down the line, you may have an opportunity to work with another company that's paying you $100,000, $150,000. But the conversation may come up where that the conviction may be a conversation that you might get a little nervous about, employers might get nervous about. It's a conversation that may or may not happen, but it's great to know that there is a process in the works of helping like take away that expungement.
Sure, and you spoke to the stigma of and being in competition with those that aren't part of the reentry process because they don't have criminal histories, and that competition. We're not looking to nullify that competition, but to level the playing field. I believe through these processes, and I do believe that wholeheartedly that if a person makes a mistake, and then they pay their debt to society. They learned from it. They've gone through X, Y, and Z. They have this certificate. They've gone through the process of expungement. It shouldn't be a barrier to employment at that point in time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, after everything that they've been through, to employment. And I think that as a society, we can speak to employers, right, CEOs, policymakers, politicians, those CBOs that are working within the industry, to examine those policies, make use of those that are still serving the greater good, and do away with those that would inhibit that.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I think that grassroots movements, that are bringing bills like SB 731 to the legislation, having them voted on, these are fantastic steps in that direction. How is CROP specifically taking steps in that direction to usher in that new mindset within the society?
Well, first, we do have a policy team in Oakland, and because they're so close to Sacramento, a lot closer than at Los Angeles, they actually are at the Sacramento downtown, like probably I would say weekly, and they're working with policymakers, assembly members, and having these conversations. And because this goes towards reimagining reentry and what that looks like, I believe that these are conversations that we can begin having about like the expungement process, such as there's the certificate of rehabilitation, like having those conversations and being on board with how would you say, promoting that.
Excellent. Ricky, thank you so much for your time, sharing the space with us, sharing some of your thoughts, and participating in the CAP Summit. It's been really fantastic sitting with you and having these conversations.
Yeah, thank you, James.
Thank you.
All right.